I forgot to cue up music, so I'm making music myself. You can't see me, but I'm making music. Do you guys know actually that there's now a version of that song that has lyrics because of the DuckTales animated TV series?
That's pretty cool.
It's actually not bad either. Like, lyrics are pretty good.
I wonder how much it would cost to get the rights to the Wii store song.
The Wii Shop theme?
Yeah.
How much money do you have? Because no matter how much you say, it's not enough.
Hey guys,
That would...
Tropico 6 is...
I can't post in chat through Streamlabs either. What is going on right now? Why is everything broken?
Doom, doom, doom.
Fine, I'll post manually in all three chats.
We could do like the Wii Sports theme.
That one. Is that the one?
I don't remember.
No, apparently it's coming through on the Twitch side. Or on the Mixer side. We're not even live on the Twitch side. What is happening right now?
Yeah, we are. I have the Twitch one pulled up right now.
What? Because my Twitch view doesn't show it at all.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh boy, it's always like this, isn't it?
Bum, 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 bum.
Right, I have retweeted the podcast. We may as well just begin, I believe. What do you guys think?
I'm good.
Okay. Then was the wrong button. There we go. Hello and welcome everybody to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Pattrick.
And we got some stuff to talk about this week. Hope everybody's excited. I have to manually view the chats right now because Restream is acting up. So if I miss your chat, I'm sorry. I'm looking on the stream so that I can see it there, but that's not perfect. Just a heads up. I don't know what's going on with Restream right now where it's not one to work. We'll just do what we can. Thanks for that, host Double Turtle. So yeah, how you guys doing? You guys had a pretty good week?
Yeah, I forgot to call Nintendo.
You were supposed to call Nintendo?
Yeah. Supposed to get my Joy-Con fixed that I still haven't got fixed.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem.
If you got it from the place that I work at and you got the insurance,
yeah, I would waste my money on that shit.
Yeah, it's true. Demonetization.
Immediately.
Demonetization.
Okay, Pat, how's your week been?
Go ahead, Andrew. You got it.
You said that.
You always start us off, Andrew. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. Video games.
Yes, I'm gonna raise your audio again because your audio's a
little. Division 2.
Oh, your audio's great now. That's amazing.
Well, I talked really loud for a second.
Okay, well, let me fix it then.
The Division 2 is a game where you shoot stuff.
Yes.
In Washington, D.C. I have shot stuff.
What level are you now?
11.
Still, you're ahead of me now.
That's mainly what I've been playing this Division 2. I did start Sekiro. My week will be short. I started Sekiro. It's one of those games that I don't want to play because I don't want to beat it. I don't want to finish it. But I'm trying not to get roped into what happens sometimes where I just never play it. and I sat on it. But so far, I'm only like 2 hours in. Love it. I actually prefer the fast pace. First off, I love the stealth. And I love clearing out whole areas just stealth. It does kind of feel like Tenchu sometimes, which makes me want to go back and play Tenchu. I did have my first section of this is bullshit and I hate this, which I guess would be spoilers if I talk about it. So yeah, just because I say spoilers because this was something really cool that I didn't know about. So early on, you can pick up this bell from this old woman, this destroyed house, and then you can go back to your little home base area and sacrifice, or not sacrifice, but present it to the present it present it gleefully to the Buddha statue. At which point you go back in time and you play through like a memory. Yeah, like I was blowing through the main stuff. I was like, okay, this is fun. I'm liking this. There's like a little mini boss that I stealth killed him, or I stealth attacked him. So I took out, like, I got the death blow down easy. Then there was the giant cannon guy, which I just ran past all the guys on the path towards him. Got up there, killed him real quick, and then hid until they forgot about me, which that was exciting. But then I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what this bell's about, and it's so cool. And you get something in that area that is not only is this a completely optional area, but it's completely optional to get this thing. So, but I did hit my point in that area where, and I was strapped for time, which is another reason I haven't played this game, because I want to play till the next bonfire, basically, whatever the next shrine. Yeah, and there's a decent amount of time, so I was trying to play to get to the next one, and I think I saw like a boss area coming up. So I was kind of like, that's kind of BS that there's not a second idol in this whole area. That would make a lot of sense because it ramped up the second section of this level. So can I go
Why
back?
am I
So
muted again? I fixed everything. Oh well, fine. I'm muted.
So
What I said for everybody who was listening is that after the first mini boss, you're supposed to skip everything from there until later in the game. Please continue, Nine.
So I can go back and then just come back.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was afraid that because of how these games are sometimes, I was afraid that if I leave, then I give up that opportunity. So I'll probably just do that because it did hit a point where the guy had a halberd, I guess, type weapon.
Yeah.
And the two other guys aggroed me, and I was strapped for time, so I was trying to rush through it, and then I actually died for the first time.
Yeah.
And I got very upset, and since I'm playing on PC, I just alt-tabbed out,
Yeah.
and then right-clicked on the game and just closed it.
So I did basically the opposite during the stream.
That's enough.
I got
That's
to...
fun.
Yeah, Pat, your hands can come down. You're good.
Yeah.
We're not gonna spoil anything else. I got to a point after that. I basically went straight all the way through it. Just kept bashing my head against it until I beat it. And got to the final boss in that area and lost terribly and went back to the main game. And today I just beat that boss after having played a lot more of the main game.
The boss that I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, okay. Just another one of those kind of things.
Right.
Okay.
Also, I just want to point out Zeke does not do this where he wants to be in my lap until these lights go on and he knows we're live, and then he wants to.
He wants to be a star. That's pretty much it. I've mainly Division, just kind of same old killing stuff.
Yeah.
And then the giant chickens.
Those things will mess you up too.
No, they won't. Not me. I'm too good.
Say that now.
I'm too good. I stealth kill the chickens.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way to do it. Don't want to fight them.
Well, sometimes they do the whole jump in the air, so I aggro some of the region, the whole jump in the air, back at me thing.
Yeah.
And instead of using the whole parry system type or deflect system thing, I just dodge.
That's fair.
So
you really should try and deflect as much as possible, though.
I know it comes off as like it's trying to make me do it. Same with the dogs, and I'll just dodge out of the way and then kill them. Really
I just shuriken all the dogs.
I'm afraid to use that.
Oh no! I have so many spirit emeralds.
See, I'm afraid now that they've turned into a currency, I'm afraid that I'm going to use it all up.
You can afford to buy them for 10 cents a piece.
Never mind.
And your regular enemies drop 11 cents.
Yeah, I have a time.
You literally save money by
do I lose money when I die?
You lose half of your current carrying capacity of money, what you're currently carrying.
Okay, so I'll have to go back get that thing.
And this is again, I'm gonna put my hands up this time so Pat doesn't have to. This could be considered a spoiler, but you can buy if you find a merchant, you can buy coin pouches. You take them at a loss, you lose 10 cents every time you buy one. But it's basically keeping your money that way so you can save it, so that you don't lose it if you die. 10 cents, that's a good chop. Yeah, we'll talk about Sekiro a little bit more when we get to my week.
Yeah, that's it for my week, Pat. What about you?
This week, for some reason I've been like oddly busy. I have a lot of school stuff going on and work. So all I really did was play Overwatch.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
Oh boy.
I saw those tweets.
So there was a game that I played where literally, like, and you know, sometimes you're playing against somebody and you watch a kill feed and you're like, wow, that person's just really good. You could definitely tell when someone's cheating. This person at one point headshot 10 people, like 10 of us, including myself more than once in a row. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they're good. They're good.
And they were like turning it on and off too, because what they would do is like they had that 10 headshots, and then they would just go back to potato aim for a little bit, and then wait until the team really needed them, and then turn it back on, and then turn it back off.
There was a CS:GO streamer. They got in big trouble for that because they got caught turning it on. Because it the way the overlays worked for their stream, they had it set above one of the overlays on their screen, but didn't realize they had it set capture the screen.
Yeah.
So they got caught turning it on.
Like I said in my tweet, I'll never understand the feeling of I gotta cheat. If it's a single player game.
If you guys don't follow Pat on Twitter, every once in a while he'll just put out this gold tweet. Like most of the time it's stuff, about a sports game that he watched, that he cares about this player or that player. And every once in a while it's just like the most insightful thing ever for just a 2-sentence tweet, and he just leaves. Like it's like he gets up, puts it on the table, and walks away, and I'm just over here going, huh, I gotta think about that for a little bit.
I'm glad you appreciate my tweets, because most of my friends are just like, well, no, I didn't see your tweet.
No, I think
like,
they're really good.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
I would talk about Andrew's tweets if he ever tweets.
I also love your
It's
tweets,
never
Trey.
gonna- I don't
They're
think
all
I'll
about
ever.
Gundam and channel and Gundam. But yeah, I'll never understand like that necessity, because if it's a single player game, like that's your own experience. So
Yeah.
go ahead. If you want to ruin your own experience, go for it. But the moment that you like want to ruin everyone else's experience because you're just not good enough, like that's just terrible. Like if you don't want to get better at a game, then don't play it.
I agree. And
And,
actually,
like,
we're
but
gonna have a
they
conversation
are
about
better
that
at
in a
the
little
game.
while.
They did get better at the game
Yeah, by cheating.
by going around the cheat, whatever, the anti-cheat software.
Yeah, by
That's my thing is like
ditching the Nuvo.
you'd think in today's age of technology, we could just have coders dedicated to doing nothing but making everything anti-cheat. But I mean, I guess not.
Well, for every time, some of this is from my job, but for every time you have someone want to do something good, and that's like part of their job, like anti-cheat or antivirus type stuff, there's always going to be 10
Yeah.
lifeless losers that you go to work 8 hours a day and have to juggle multiple responsibilities. They will sit there for 14 hours a day and not do anything but try to ruin other people's day.
Yeah.
So there'll always be a step ahead, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like a part of. Go ahead.
I was gonna say to the comment in chat, I don't think any of us have a problem when people do it in single player games when they do it in multiplayer.
Yeah, you know, this is gonna sound stupid, but one of the funnest memories I have of playing video games was playing Grand Theft Auto and using all the stupid cheats and just going crazy and like passing the controller to my little brother or my friend and watching them go crazy.
Yeah.
But that's a single player game, you know. You're not ruining someone else's experience.
Yes.
And if you want to use aim assist on a single player game, go for it. If you want to feel like you're just the baddest mamma jamma, then do it. But why ruin someone else's?
I agree.
Video games are supposed to be for everybody, not just for you.
That's the fun. That's what excites them. It's like, oh, I bet that guy's so mad right now because I just killed him 4 times in a row with a headshot across the whole map.
Yeah.
It's the issue with feeling insignificant.
Yeah.
They're very sad individuals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It must be an awful feeling.
I mean, pathetic.
It must be an awful feeling knowing that, you know, you obviously can't get better by practice, and you're so bad at a game that you have to literally cheat just to make yourself feel like you can play a game. But I'll get off my soapbox now. That's basically my week. I was a 1600 SR earlier in the week, and I fell back down to 1500. And I don't see myself getting out of silver because of the people that matchmake and comp and make the same excuse of I paid $60 for this game when it came out. I can play who I want, and that's what quick play is for. I'm gonna make sure I say that again. That's what quick play is for.
Look, I did it one time, okay?
But I made a new friend playing Overwatch, which is pretty cool. And now every now and then when she gets on, she will message me and be like, hey, let's play. She's a pretty good Orisa. So I have at least one person that I play with every now and then if my little brother can't make it on. So good on you, Blizzard. You're still making friends.
Blizzard didn't make that friend for you. You
Good
put in
job
the hard
on
work.
Good job, Blizzard, on developing this person.
Well, it was literally like the game ended and they were like, you want to stay as a team? And I'm like, no. And they were like, great. And then they added me as a friend and I was like, well, guess I'm gonna play with them for a little while.
All right then. So yeah, I played a bunch of Sekiro. And when I say a bunch of Sekiro, I mean a bunch of Sekiro. So last week I stated that I really liked the game, but it was pretty difficult, and one of the biggest problems was the number of enemies in the area. I want to retract that statement and call myself an idiot, stupid, baby-faced fool, because now, having got some upgrades under my belt and a better understanding of the combat system, not a single area has proven to be difficult. Like it's difficult, but it's not stopping me. It's not super hard, you know?
Yeah.
I am blitzing through areas, having to backtrack to go fight mini bosses that I avoided so that I could collect loot in the area. That game's really good. There are a few small problems that I have with it still. Sometimes the hit detection's a little rough. Like, the hitbox work is beautiful, but things like stairs, weapons don't always hit stairs the way they're supposed to. So, like, mini boss that I fought probably 15, 20 times trying to beat has a spear that would go through the stairs instead of hitting the stairs and stopping, because the stairs weren't detecting his weapon, right? The weapon was priority over the stairs because it was counted, I guess, as elevation in the code instead of an actual, like, physical thing there, and so it would just scrape up through it every time. There's also a weird thing of I convinced an enemy to walk off a ledge while fighting me, a mini boss, and it fell to its death, and I did not receive the item you get for killing mini bosses, and so I reloaded the area, and the enemy was right there. I didn't kill it, so it didn't count. And I told Pat about this because it happened while we were getting ready to record some Fire Emblem, and I think it might be because the game is coded because you can dodge things and stealth around and stuff, unlike the rest of the Souls games. I think it might be coded in a way where you have to do the death blow to trigger the item drop.
Yeah.
So that there is no chance of something else killing it or it falling off and you just not getting the item, you know? Which is fine. Like, it's not a huge thing. It definitely annoyed me.
It's all about the death blows.
Yeah. But I will say that game's really good. There was an enemy that uses Yaijutsu, which is the sheath sword, draw sword, sheath sword every time, with a very specific pattern. And I died to that enemy 7 times. And I have not died to any of that enemy or any other swordsman since. Because once I got that fighting style down, the way that they do those swings, and was able to time those deflects right, I can now deflect all basic sword attack. So now it's just I go into an area, enemies come up with swords, you know, and it feels amazing. I'm running through areas, cutting people down like crazy. I also had to, though, change the way that I played the game. Because I was playing it where if I got hurt, I would backstep off and heal. Or I would backstep off if my deflect gauge was too full, right? There's no stamina in Sekiro. So you don't back off. You just don't get hit again. And I know that sounds like the old get good thing, right? But just don't get hit again. Wait for an opportunity where it's safe to heal, and now I heal most of the time right beside the boss. As I'm deflecting blows, and then instead of attacking, I'll heal to give myself that extra mistake again.
Yeah.
And the other thing that wound up being really helpful to me was figuring out that, and this, I can stop if you don't want to know this trick, but when you're fighting a mini boss, I'll put my hands up just in case, or a boss or a regular enemy, if you attack until they deflect and then start deflecting, then you can just have this back and forth where there is no moment of like we're walking back and forth looking at each other waiting for each other to attack. Just be aggressive, man. I know the Souls games aren't about that, really, but like go in, because if you keep up that rhythm, it's a dance where both of your deflect gauges are getting pretty full, but you're the one who gets to resurrect if you die.
Yeah.
It works really well.
That's what I liked about Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm.
was more aggressive, kind
Yeah.
of fast paced.
And I do think that it would be easier for people to figure that out if it had the rally system from Sekiro or from Bloodborne, you know, where if you take damage and then immediately do damage, you get health back. I think if it had that, it would be people would play it a little bit more aggressively right from the start, you know.
Yeah.
But I do think that would break this game. There's a lot more ways to get health back than people think in Sekiro, and it's pretty easy to get it back.
Yeah, I have. It's good to hear that because I have started off just being very like I'm very stealth focused, but if I have to get in a sword fight, I'm very aggressive.
Yeah. So, for instance, I got into a situation today while exploring where there were 4 enemies with guns and a tough enemy.
Yeah.
And the option is, well, you know, go pick them all off, you know, or the option is jump down from above, death blow one of the guns, like one of the guys with a gun, and then just run back and forth slicing until all the guys with guns are dead so I can focus on the elite. And it's like, well, yeah, the elite's still swinging. It's okay. Just deflect him off and go for it. Because it's all about that deflection.
Yeah.
It's not like DMC5 is still game of the year for me, you know? And there's enough about Sekiro that I'm like, I don't know about some of these decisions, but the majority of it I love. And I'm super down to keep going. I got stuck on that mini boss with the spear for quite some time. It was probably 4 or 5 hours of game time as I would fight him a few times and then go somewhere else and come back and fight him a few times and go somewhere else. When I beat him, I then went and killed 3 other mini bosses.
Yeah.
That I knew where they were and had been waiting to go fight afterwards and beat them each on my first try. Because he was the one that I was stuck on, and now that I've got it down, you know. But
Do mini bosses respawn?
no.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. I like it a lot. It's weird in a lot of ways because it's not a Souls game. Even though it is a Souls game, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot more hidden in this one than in a regular Dark Souls game.
Well, and one thing I love is like a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne. There may be multiple ways to get to somewhere, but you still have to fight through. Like, okay, I gotta go down this hallway, and I know there's gonna be a guy pops out here, and at the end of the hallway there's gonna be 2 guys. Where in this, it's like you can grapple hook all over the place and run on buildings like that, to where you you really can decide like, you know what, I don't want to fight that guy yet because what if there's somebody over here that he could aggro?
Yep.
And then you check over there, like you have that. Well, Dark Souls and Bloodborne, you have the freedom, which I don't know. I mean, you have the freedom of like the weapon choice and the character builds and stuff like this. Yeah. You have the freedom of movement in this game that I really like.
And it's also like which tool you bring. Like, which tool are you using for this fight? Because some bosses and some mini bosses have trouble with specific tools. And I know where another boss is right now, but I think my favorite thing about this game is that you don't you don't spend points to level up, and so it's not well, I'm not doing enough damage, I need to go grind and level up. I mean, there are still, you need to grind sometimes to get some of those skills, right? If you never die, you never need to grind, but you die, you need to stop and grind and get some skills. But you don't get more weapon damage by leveling up, so you can't just grind it up until you have enough damage to beat the boss. It's about that dance. It's about the countering their attacks and getting back damage for them, and it's really cool to see the game be built around that system, and that's going to come back up again if we have time for it today, because there was a big discussion this last week about, on Twitter, on Reddit, on Vercetera, I saw it on there as well, about difficulty in Sekiro and if it should have an easy mode. And if we have time today, I'd like to go back to that discussion and us talk about it, because I don't think you can make an easy mode for this game without completely destabilizing the way that the fighting works. But we obviously need to prioritize the news. Um, other than that, though, I've been playing 14 still, as always. I'm leveling an alt now, as well,
Why?
because the Final Fantasy 15 collaboration event is coming up.
Yeah.
And to do that event and get the regalia in game and get Noctis's outfit and Noctis's hairstyle in game, you have to be level 50.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Before you say you didn't know about this, we talked about this.
No, I knew about this.
Okay.
But I forgot about the regalia.
Yes.
So, what do I have to do to get that?
So, if you are at least level 50,
I am.
And have beaten Ultima, which means you've beaten the main, 2.0 story. You don't have to beat 2.55. You just need to have beat that last dungeon in 2.0, which I believe you've done.
No, you said 2.
You're in the quest right now for 2.3, aren't you? The stuff afterwards, after you fought the big Ultima weapon.
After Heavensward?
No, that's before Heavensward. You're in the pre-Heavensward stuff right now. And the thing you have to have beaten is the Realm Reborn
so is Heavensward.
stuff. Heavensward is after A Realm Reborn. It's A Realm Reborn, which is 1.0. 1.0 is original. 2.0 is Realm Reborn. 3.0 is Heavensward.
Yeah. That's where I'm getting confused, because I'm thinking Realm Reborn is...
Right, Realm Reborn's not 1.0. That's what a lot of people think.
It's the standard game, because it's 1.0, but it's not 1.0, it's 2.0.
Right.
So I'm... Okay, so I may be closer if I haven't already done it. I'd be pretty close to...
I think you've already done that. And then you do the quest starting April 17th, where you fight alongside Noctis and do his quest line, and then you can unlock the regalia. But it's a temporary quest, only available from April 17th to May 25th.
It's a long time.
Yes, but that also means that I have time to get 2 of my alts from level 30 to level 50, so they can also get the regalia.
Why do you need it on more than one character?
Because if I want to play them, I want the regalia.
What if it's account wide?
It might be account wide, but I really doubt it would be, since it's a quest reward and not something you buy from the Mog Station.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Gotta level up.
Let me make a note somewhere. I may have to resub.
But I've been leveling Care Swiss. Pat, do you remember her? That's my Rogadin, who had the sick coat and was hands in pockets, leaned back. That I told you I needed to play her more often. Either way, I'm leveling her right now, and it's really cool to see. She's a very different character from my main character, and it's cool to be back in some of those older quests where this is legit dangerous, I know we're gonna get through it, but this is a situation where this character is in actual peril, Whereas most of the time when I'm playing on Sigurd, it's I'm the warrior of light. You can't stop me. So, it's just kind of cool. Also, animations are all different for this race. So, running around as a Roganin is very different than running around as a Cure. And Care Swiss looks very different than Sigurd when she's doing stuff. The other game I've been playing is Super Robot Wars T! You want to guess?
I thought you beat that game already.
No, not yet. I haven't had enough time to beat it yet. You want to guess who my pilot that has the most kills is?
Is it the Gagagar?
The main pilot, the main character, Gagagar, guy Shishio.
Okay. Sorry, I had to. Never mind.
You're good. He has a map attack. And he does a lot of damage with it. So I think he's got 75 kills right now, whereas everybody else is in the 30 to 50 range. I have to stop myself from using him so other people can get kills. But he's so good. Yeah, that game's really good. So,
it's awesome.
I really like it. I need to watch Magical Knight Ray Earth now. Because the stuff that I've seen from it that's NT is really good. I was really surprised by that. But still no sign of Kiriko QV, the main character of Otoms. Maybe soon, though. Maybe soon. But yeah, that's all I've really been up to. I haven't got to play too much of anything other, like Sekiro's the one I've played the most of, right? Because I've been doing a lot of editing this week because of Gundam Game Day Saturday. Like basically ever since Gundam Game Day, I've just been editing. I haven't really got to play anything other than today with Pat because Gundam Game Day got blocked worldwide. The VOD did.
What?
So I took a look to see who was claiming it. There were 16 companies claiming money from it, and that's fine, whatever, as long as it's like still viewable, right? There were 4 block scenes, all of which were cutscenes in the game, and I was like, okay, fine. So I threw it in Premiere, and I chopped up all those and figured out that none of the blocks happened until in the second half of the stream. So I took the VOD from YouTube and I cut it down and re-uploaded it as the same file, which allowed me to keep the chat for the first half. Couldn't do that for the second half. So I cut all 4 of those cutscenes, re-uploaded the second half as a private video to see if it get blocked again. It got blocked again. Pulled it back down. Got all 3 of the new blocks cut out. Put it back up. Got blocked again. Pulled it back down. Cut all 3 of those blocks out. Put it back up. Got blocked again. Pulled it down. Cut the last one out. Put it back up. It's up again today. We are probably never going to play Mobile Suit Gundam Never Ending Tomorrow because all of those cutscenes got blocked.
What's that? What game is that?
Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Never Ending Tomorrow for the PS2. A Gundam game that, it was fine. I didn't really like playing it all that much, but it was fine. That's the one that had the alarm clock in it, Pat.
The best freaking thing about that game was the alarm clock.
So we're probably never playing that one again.
So that kind of adds insult to injury, the fact that you didn't really like the game in the first place.
Yeah. And it's the one that got us blocked multiple times. It was probably around 14 hours worth of work to fix. And if you just go, well, the amount of time you were physically working, like editing and cutting and everything, that was probably 2 hours, right? That's nothing. That's regular editing time. The problem is having to do it over and over again so that it can be rendered. And render time for the first file that was 5 hours long. So yeah. But yeah, as King pointed out, now we know that original Gundam soundtrack will not get us blocked. So we'll just use original Gundam soundtrack from now on. That a Gundam Seed sound.
Better than protect their baby.
Yeah. Well, the problem is Gundam Seed, they did a bunch of like bands playing music for that. And so now that's why I said like 16 different companies. Because it's all the different record label holders for those bands that are like, that's our music. You can't have it. Like, but you licensed it in this game. That's okay. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. But it's back up now. You guys can all watch the VOD. If that, right, for the time being. If the second half of the VOD doesn't get at least 10 views, I'm gonna be really disappointed for all that work I put in. But you know, yeah. From there, I guess we'll move forward. Welcome to the stream. We'll move forward to game announcements. We had some games announced. Do you guys know about Ready Set Heroes? No? Don't know about Ready Set Heroes? It looks okay. It's got like
I saw a video. Like,
yeah. It's a cool looking co-op game, you know?
Yeah.
Cool enough.
I couldn't. So was it just like mini games? Because that's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like. I'm assuming it had a single player, but it doesn't really show, you know?
Yeah.
But it looks okay. It was announced as part of this is, by the way, the next set of games basically are from the Ready Set PlayStation thing. What do they call that? State of the Show? That's what it was.
State of Play?
State of Play. That's it. Thank you, Andrew. For the PlayStation Nintendo Direct style thing that they did. that happened while we were recording our podcast. So that's why we're talking about it now.
I have now seen some of the footage of Ready Set Heroes.
Yes.
I can officially declare this a pile of crap.
I was trying to be generous with it, but
It looks okay.
yeah.
And it's got you play as cute animals, and you know I like playing as cute animals.
Yes.
So if I say it's crap, that means that the animals aren't going to win me over.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be picking it up. That's for sure.
Also, the next thing on the list I can't find because when I Google it, it pops up with a Bible verse.
Well, that's because the second thing is the date. First off, you should just Google observation.
Okay. So what does 1 Timothy, I don't know how to say 5:21 mean? Bible ref. I charge you in the sight of God and Christ Jesus and the elect angels to keep these instructions without partiality and to do nothing out of favoritism. I want the King James version.
No, that's sure. That's the first official English translation, I believe.
I charge thee before God and the Lord Jesus Christ and the elect angels.
Last week it was
observe these things without
this week it's the Bible.
One before another, doing nothing by partiality. So I think I understand
next week to see whatever it's gonna be. Man,
I almost saved the turn just for this week.
So, Observation is a space game where you play as the space station. As the astronauts, that's the phrase. The astronauts are trying to live inside the space station and things are going terribly wrong. And it releases May 21st.
So, you're telling me
you get to be Hal.
I get to play a game where humans shit inside of me.
Yes.
I'm in, baby.
Why? Game of the year. Oh man.
Oh man. Okay. After that,
real quick, I want to say something about that. It looked really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does look really cool.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything from the bathroom, so I'm kind of concerned they left that part out. But
possible.
I don't know if I'll end up picking the game up, but it definitely looks interesting.
Yeah, I'm really interested in it as well. Also, just again, a heads up for everybody. If I miss your chat comment, I'm sorry. Restream chat is down. The only way that I can see your comments is by manually going to the pages or by looking on the stream. And for whatever reason, the Mixer comments, I can see them on the stream, but I cannot see them on Mixer.
I have them all picked up, so if you want, I can talk to them as they come up.
Yeah, if you don't mind. If you see anything big come up that you want to reference.
Absolutely.
From there, we have Five Nights at Freddy VR. Five Nights at Freddy's VR, I should specify.
I know you're excited for that one, aren't you, Trey?
I actually think it might not be a bad VR game. I think it could really work as a VR game.
So the way that game is makes perfect sense for VR.
I agree. Even though I don't like the game.
No,
for anybody, go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
No, I'll just say I don't like it either.
No. For anybody that doesn't know, for all of our newer viewers that don't go back and watch a bunch of the older podcasts, I don't blame you. There's a lot of them. You should though. There's good stuff in there. I used to play a lot of the Five Nights game. I thought that the way that the mechanics worked in those games were really good. Unfortunately, like 3 of them came out in 1 year, and I got series fatigue really quickly. That's what happens when you use 3 games. And so I'm willing to give this a shot. I think the direction that the series went in is not the direction I wanted it to go in, you know? But I'm willing to give it a chance.
King's got jokes.
Oh, I saw it. I see it on the stream. After that, we have Falcon Age, which I'm having to double check the thinking of the game that I'm thinking of. I am. Okay. It kind of looks cool. I kind of like the way it looks. It's like you raise this falcon, and then you like live with it.
I'm
Go
I'm
ahead.
I'm kind of weirded out by how they might do like days and nights in this game because I mean, it's VR,
Yeah,
but I feel like it's like hard cuts after you do certain things, maybe to like the next day.
yeah. I don't know. We'll find out. There'll be some more trailers soon, I would think. But
Falcon Age.
I like the look of it, and you can put a little hat on your falcon.
Hey, it's got VR.
It's in VR, yes.
Yeah, I like that.
And by the way, when I say put a little hat on your falcon, I mean
See
you
you
can
later,
put
Will.
a little hat, a little cowboy hat on top of your baby falcon.
This looks really cool.
Yeah, I like the way it looks a lot.
Huh, when is this coming out? Did it say?
They did not give a date, I don't think.
I didn't see
In
one
the
of those.
state of play.
It just says 2019.
And that was the last of the new games that were announced at State of Play. We do have some other State of Play news coming up later. But from there, we had Borderlands Game of the Year Edition. Borderlands 1 Game of the Year Edition.
Best game of last year.
Last year?
Oh, it's at a Game of the Year edition, right? So.
Oh, yeah. Borderlands 1, PS4, Xbox One, with all the DLC. Cool. I'm down. I'll play it again. Plus with new stuff, new features. They're adding more guns. They're adding more customizable options. I'll replay Borderlands 1. I like it a lot. I like it more than Borderlands 2.
How many barrels do you have to scrape the bottom of before you throw your hands up and say, screw it. Let's just call it Game of the Year edition?
I really wish they'd given it a better name, man. Like, first off,
Ultimate Edition. Just give it something like that.
First off, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition already came out on 360 PS3.
Yes. It's so...
Are you
Like-
ready to be disappointed?
Then, as King pointed out, it got
What?
re-released again in the Handsome Jack collection.
No, I don't think Borderlands 1 is in here.
It's in there for Xbox One, I believe, if you get it through digital download.
Back. Yeah.
Because backwards compatibility.
What are you going to say, Pat?
Are you all ready to be disappointed?
I'm
You've
already
never played Borderlands, have you?
Nope.
Oh, well.
You know what? I lied. I played a little bit of Borderlands. I don't know which one it was though.
I played Borderlands 1 a lot, and then I never played Borderlands 2. I had Borderlands 2 on PC. I just never played it. Maybe we should all play Borderlands 2 co-op.
I would do it, but I really dislike the story of Borderlands. And I really dislike the writing of Borderlands 2, but I would do it. I would play that with you guys. Because I like playing the game. I just think that all of the humor is bad. And
How dare you?
the reason
Maybe
it's
I will play
bad
Borderlands.
is because it's all memes and in-jokes from when it was released.
Yeah.
Which means now those things have moved on.
Are you trying to say that
Memes never
the,
die.
that the development of Borderlands 2 was kind of short-sighted?
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying.
How can that be so when 10 years from now, Borderlands 2 will get a Game of the Year edition?
I'll put it to you this way. You can make all the double rainbows and butt stallion jokes you want to make. But at some point, those jokes, nobody will even understand the reference anymore. Probably already people don't understand a lot of the references. And referential humor is only as good as the references last.
I guarantee you 10 years from now, there will be somebody who's still playing Borderlands 2 and is screaming at the top of their lungs how funny it is and how the kids got it wrong because they don't understand it. And it's
Yeah,
too sophisticated.
and that'll be the writer. What's his name? What is his name? It's right in the top of my head now. The guy who
King
said that
King said I should do a Borderlands stream.
you should. Borderlands 1 or 2. Either way, I'd play with you if you wanted.
Tim.
Maybe this summer.
Anthony
Yeah,
Birch,
well,
that's his name. That's the writer. The guy who
So I
said
should
that everybody
clarify.
who doesn't understand Borderlands 2 and doesn't find it funny just doesn't understand comedy. Sure, Anthony Birch. Sure, I don't understand comedy.
I understand comedy. I understand that it's not funny. Also, Pat, I was going to say this summer, a expansion pack or an expansion pack for Final Fantasy 14 releases. So I don't know if you'll get Trey to be able to play with you. It maybe me.
That's okay. Every moment that
Unless
he's
we
not
knock it
streaming,
out.
he's just gonna be like,
Unless we knock it out in June.
I mean, I'm just saying. You guys all understand that when Shadowbringers comes out, that's the week of Shadowbringers. And maybe the second week of Shadowbringers the week after. All the streams. Shadowbringers.
You got to pre-order to get early access, right?
Oh yeah, I'm playing June 28th.
Okay.
I feel like he pre-ordered the moment that it was available.
I did.
He
I
literally
was
was
up at
just like-
3 a.m. refreshing the page. You didn't see my tweet? That was, come on, I want to give you money, Square Enix. Where's the pre-order?
I must have missed that tweet.
Oh, so yeah. However, if you have yet to play a Borderlands game and you don't know where to start, Borderlands 3 is coming, baby. You should probably start with 1 though, because it follows the story of the continuing story of 1 and 2.
Woo!
The video looked interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't
Guns with legs.
even care to watch it.
Guns with legs. I do think the guns with leg thing is cool, but it also immediately screamed to me, we don't know how to get you to come back. Please, please come back. Look, there's a gun running on legs. Please come back. And the worst part is, I'll come back. I love Borderlands 1.
Every time I think about Borderlands, I think about Gearbox.
Yeah.
And every time I think about Gearbox, I think about Randy Pitchford.
Yeah.
And every time I think about Randy Pitchford, I think I don't want to spend money
That's fair.
because of some stuff.
Yeah. You talking about Mr. Randy, I don't have to work a job anymore. Must suck to suck Pitchford.
Talking about Randy, take all the money from Sega for Colonial Marines
And make Borderlands out of it?
something else. Yeah.
Yeah. What about Randy? I'm gonna sit here and enjoy this meal while you babies all cry on Twitter, Pitchford. You think about him?
Yeah.
Because that man is for sure shooting himself in the foot every time he gets on Twitter.
Problem is, it's like he doesn't realize. It's like
No,
his foot's
he
numb.
has no
He
idea.
doesn't realize. He doesn't realize it. That's the problem.
I don't get it. I don't. World froze again.
No.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. World froze. There we go. We're back. World is not frozen anymore. So yeah, anyway, I'll play Borderlands 3. What really excites me the most about it though is new characters with new moves. And they put some thought into it this time. It's not, hey, here's Roland and he throws down a turret. And that's cool. Don't get me wrong, I love Roland. But then Borderlands 2, hey, this is Axton and he throws down 2 turrets. Oh. Okay. Because the one that we saw in this is where she puts her hands together and then these giant ghost hands pop out behind her like Netero from Hunter x Hunter and all like curl up into fists to get ready to punch somebody. And I was like, yeah, I'll play that.
That sounds
cool.
amazing.
Oh. Also, don't even get me started, Chad, about a live action Bond movie. Would love that so much. From there, you guys know what Sakura Wars is?
I sure don't.
The video looked really good though.
So, yeah, she's basically a stand user Artaka, that's right.
Joe.
Sakura Wars is an SRPG series that uses robots and people with swords and guns. And it's really cool. I love it, right? It's also been dead for a very long time. It's coming back. The game is tentatively called Project Sakura Wars, and it's getting an official English release.
The game looks super cool.
I'm gonna look it up.
I am
So-
in.
I saw the moment where like he pulls up the two swords and he's about to start fighting, and I was like, oh, this guy looks serious. This is
Yeah.
cool. And then all of a sudden there's mechs, and I was like, whoa!
Yep,
Left turn, everybody.
that's Sakura Wars. Yes,
I'm
Tiny
in.
Tina is in the trailer for Borderlands 3. She's now fully grown. She's still Tiny Tina. Go ahead, Pat. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
You're good. I'm in. I want this game. Didn't it say winter 2019?
Yep. No solid release date yet, just final quarter. But yeah, I'm super stoked, man. Sakura Wars coming back.
I want this game for sure. I feel like
Is
it's
there
gonna be a
no
lot of fun.
gameplay out there available?
No, it just got
It's
announced.
just cutscenes.
Okay.
Hopefully, we'll see more of it at. I guess at E3, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll show
most
up there.
likely.
The last thing, apparently, I can't type because that's not how that's spelled. The last game that got announced this week, that was a real announcement, is Shantae 5. You
Alright,
guys,
so let's move on to the news this week.
you guys not excited for Shantae?
This is the first time I've heard of Shantae at all.
No, I'm not excited. I play good games.
Shantae is a good game. The Shantae games are good games. They are good platformers.
Yeah, you'll say that's a good platform, which you run your mouth about Super Mario Odyssey. Crap.
All I'm saying is, in Shantae, I'm not tripping over moons everywhere I go. In Shantae, I'm having satisfying combat everywhere I go, and not having to worry about constantly being stopped by that moon animation. That's all I'm saying. But
Platformers are about platforming. If you're so excited about the combat, maybe you should go play an action game.
I have been. No, Shantae 5 is the newest in the Shantae series. Shantae, Half-Blooded Hero, Shantae, the Genie's Curse, Shantae 2. This is Shantae 5. They're all really good platformers with really interesting sprite work. If you've never heard of them, just check them out. I think they're really good games. That's Shantae 5 coming out soon. In the news, I see Zeke is not the only dog that wants to get in on the podcast. Somebody felt threatened.
You're facing the wrong way, champ. We're doing it for the fans.
Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, which we already knew about, will have an
That was
option.
refueled.
Refueled. Might be. Will have an option to use the old models.
That's pretty hype.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and it's not DLC. It's like built into the game, which is great.
Not DLC. I wouldn't say that so quick. It is an Activision game.
Yeah.
I won't be using nothing but the old models.
I think the new models actually look really good.
They do, but I want the nostalgia factor.
I will be using nothing but the new models.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Andrew. I want the nostalgia. I'll play the old one. I want to play the new one.
I can't play the old.
Yes, you can. You can emulate it.
That's true.
That's called stealing.
Too late.
After that, we have a new trailer for Concrete Genie. I don't know if you guys remember Concrete Genie or not. We haven't really heard anything about it up until now. Hasn't been talked about really at all, but it's been in development this whole time. This is the game where, I think it was announced at the Game Awards, where you are the kid drawing these chalk creatures on the walls and they come to life. The new trailer makes it look like stuff goes pretty crazy in there. Showing some other environments as well. It looks pretty good. I'm kind of excited for it.
I'm excited for this game. I have not seen the new trailer, but I was excited.
It looks pretty good.
This game reminds me of Epic for the Wii. Or Epic Mickey. Is that what it was called?
Epic Mickey, yeah.
Dare you bring Epic Mickey up in this podcast?
Epic Mickey's a great game.
Epic Mickey has been shunned from this podcast.
Epic Mickey's great.
That's what this game reminds me of.
Even Epic Mickey 2 is pretty good.
How dare you bring up Epic Mickey 2? Oh, I liked those games, but I couldn't afford them when they came out, and I never got to play them.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I've only played the first hour of Epic Mickey. I wanted to play more, but it was at a friend's house, so I couldn't afford it.
My mom got me the game well after the Wii had already passed and was no longer the console. And I'm sitting here with this game, and I'm like, why would I play this? And I played maybe 2-3 hours, and I was like, this is boring, and I just quit playing.
We need to do a Make It Right stream with Epic Mickey. I need to go back and finally play it.
We need to do a Make It Right stream, but it's all three of us playing it on our own computers through Discord at the same time. Obviously, we'll only play Trey's in-game audio.
Yes.
So we'll all be talking about different points of the game.
Yes. Perfect.
But as to not completely distracted.
With 3 different sets of audio.
Yeah.
We do need to do that Borderlands stream. Really
I still have to play Metal Gear.
That needs to come before Epic Mickey.
No.
Sorry, Mickey.
No. Epic Mickey
Snake gets priority. So from there, from Epic Mickey, I can't believe that got brought up. Monolith Soft is hiring for a new Zelda game. So what's cool about this is Monolith are the people that make Xenoblade. They made a bunch of the assets for Breath of the Wild, right? To make Breath of the Wild, to let Breath of the Wild be able to come out sooner. They did a lot of the work on Breath of the Wild. They did good enough work, Nintendo was happy enough with them, that they are now making the next Zelda game.
Interesting.
This excites me a lot. Because Monolith is really good at writing characters and really good at writing character arcs. Very exciting. One of my top 25 games of all time is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, a game that I have now put in over 700 hours into replays because I love that game. Love the characters in that game, and the characters and their motivations are a big part of that game. And the character they did the best with was the main villain, who is amazing. So I'm just saying, look forward to Monolith Soft having a really well-written villain. Link might have a voice. He might do it. Everybody's voiced in Xenoblade.
No.
They might give him a voice. They might just do all the dialogue in-house, and then it'll all be like Welsh and British.
If Link can talk, I want him to look at the screen, fourth breaking, look when somebody asks him a question, his response, Link! And I want him to be just like Mario, where he just goes, huh? Link! The entire game.
Go ahead.
What if the whole game, he doesn't say anything, it's just normal, and the very end, they're like, so Link, what's next for you? And he just looks up and he just goes, I don't know. And then that's just it. That's the only line he gets in the whole game. I'd be down with that,
actually. I'd be down with that. I just want that final confrontation where Link and Ganon clash swords, and then Ganon just goes, "Oh, you cannot beat me, laddie." It's done by Monolith, so they're all Welsh.
I don't want Ganon.
Yeah, new villain, Malos. Just take Malos out of Xenoblade and put him in front of
yeah. And that's the crossover, because it's already the crossover quest for Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
So.
And Malos shows up and he's like, Link, you think you can take me?
He just gives him a scowl. Link.
Monado Buster! Oh, I love Malos so much. Anyway, that's cool and all. But do you guys remember that Evangelion is coming to Netflix?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, if you were excited for it because you wanted to watch the dub that you loved from when it came on television when you were a child, maybe don't be excited. Because on Twitter, the voice of Asuka revealed that for the Netflix release, she was not reprising her role of Asuka. They're not using the original audio and upresing it. They're re-recording the entire show, and the old voice actors got to audition for their roles.
Oh boy.
And from the sound of it, most of them did not make the cut. Which is bad because the Eva dub is actually pretty good. It gets even worse when you consider that the role of Asuka put this voice actress on the map. And so anytime she streams or does any events or anything, you can see the tower case behind her that has all of her Asuka figures in it, because Asuka's a very special character to her, because it was the character that put her on the map. So yeah, there's gonna be a new dub.
Why?
That's the question on everybody's lips.
Like, what? It's already been done. It's already been acclaimed.
Yep. Andrew, your chair is so loud.
Just stick with the good. Just stick with the one that everybody says is good.
Yep. I agree.
Camera, if you're gonna be
Pat, your thoughts?
a star.
I don't understand. Like, what's the point? Like, what?
Yeah. Also, isn't that like a lot more money to spend to redub the whole show?
Yeah.
Are we sure? Are they just making a new season or a new?
No, it is a remaster of the original. It is the original show with a brand new dub.
Is there gonna be better graphics?
No.
Then what's the point? If you're gonna like up the graphics or like do a complete new like art rework, then yeah. But no.
No. It is.
I want Evangelion HD.
I mean, it's happened with a bunch of other shows, and they didn't recast the whole show. Yeah, send it to me, and I'll pass it on after the podcast, King. It's just a weird decision, you know? Like, the people that got hype when it was announced for Netflix would have been the people that watched it on Toonami, right? The people that watched the sub either already own it or know where to find it, and they're not going to care that it's on Netflix all of a sudden, right? The people that wanted to watch it again and got excited when Netflix announced it was going... Because, again, it's only available on American U.S. Netflix. It's not available anywhere else. They only licensed it for U.S. Netflix because they were banking on the nostalgia factor, right? And then you take the nostalgia away by recasting it.
We can do better.
We can do better.
We know what you want.
Makes no sense to me.
We're gonna tell you what you want.
Yeah.
You really, really, really wanna recast.
Recast it.
So yeah.
Hey, you know what? They could have done worse. They could have done a live action version.
No.
Yeah. Could have.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you forget that happened?
Yeah. Sure did. I had blanked that out of my mind, and now all I can see is Light Yagami going, not Light Yagami, Jake. That's what I'm calling him, Jake Yagami, going, ah, 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 when Ryuk shows up.
Pretty scary guy, man.
After that, the Sega Genesis Mini has been announced.
So are we hype or not hype? Because I don't know.
It's kind of late. Like, if they had announced this...
Like everything Sega does.
If they had announced this, like, a year and a half, 2 years ago, this would have been really hype, right?
Yeah, whenever everyone else was releasing theirs.
But now everybody's kind of come back around on the idea of the NES and SNES Mini, where it's like, why didn't these have more games? Why are they so bad? Why is emulation not as good as actual emulators? Just go down the list, right? People have come back around on the idea. So it's going to have 2 controllers. They're going to be the classic Sega controllers. It will have the power cable and an HDMI cable, just like the other minis. And then it will have 40 legendary Genesis games.
Ren and Stimpy.
They have currently announced 10. 10 that they have announced are Echo the Dolphin,
Okay.
Castlevania Bloodlines, Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine,
Back in.
Toe Jam and Earl,
Oh, I'm definitely.
Comic Zone,
Okay.
the original Sonic the Hedgehog, Altered Beast, and Gunstar Heroes. I feel like, Pattrick, most of these games are unknown to you.
Yeah, the only Sega I've ever touched was the Sega Genesis that my friend had, and I played Sonic, and that was it.
Well, did you know that if you want to play some of these games before this comes out, there's actually the Sonic Sega Mega Collection on Steam that allows you to play all of these games. I think it's like $15, and you get like 80 games from Sega's library that you can play on your PC. It plays really well, even on a laptop.
But you don't
Also-
have the Sega Genesis controller.
But you don't have the Sega Genesis controller.
You know what else? You can get the Sega like game pack that includes like Mortal Kombat and like
Yep.
a couple other games from Dollar General for like $40.
The
Oh,
only
that's
thing with
true.
that, I will say yes. The only thing with that is that has input lag. If this also has input lag, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the PC versions do not have input lag. So my question is, there are 30 more games that are announced. What has to be on this for you to buy it?
King, you kill me, dude.
What'd you say, Andrew?
Ren and Stimpy.
Okay.
And I don't remember, is there a Beavis and Butthead game? I think there is.
I think there is for the Sega Genesis, yes.
Neither one of those will make it, therefore buy it.
It's fair. Pat,
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat? That makes sense.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on, is Earthworm Jim?
Yes,
From
Earthworm
Sega
Jim had a
Genesis?
Genesis port.
Okay, alright. Earthworm Jim has to be on there.
For me, I need Vector Man.
Nope.
I need Army Stars, I think is the name of it. It's the one that is, are you a bad enough dude to save the president? Whatever that game's called. I can't remember the name of it right. But that's a game that I played a ton on the Sega Genesis. And then, I mean, they already got Gunstar Heroes, so I guess for me it would just be like
Oddworld.
Oddworld would be cool. I'm trying to remember the name of. There's a game where you play as a chick, like a little baby chicken, and you can spit water at things, and you can get upgrades. And I can't remember the name of the game for the life of me right now. But that game would be really cool. But there's no way that's getting put on here because that's crazy. You know?
Well, I'm going to do a quick look on what the best Genesis games are.
Yes, please. Also, as
So-
Artakis pointed out in the chat, was that what you were about to say, Pat?
No.
Okay. The Ultimate Genesis Collection for PS3 and Xbox 360 has like 60 games on it as well. Please go ahead, Pat.
What I was gonna say is, so I bought the NES Classic.
Yeah.
Not because of the games that were on it, but because of what I plan to do with that console whenever I actually get around to doing it.
Yes.
But the only other classic console that I would get if they came out with it is the 64.
Oh,
I would
Yeah.
buy that one in a heartbeat, especially if
would
it had
depend
the
on what's on
original
there.
controller.
Yeah.
Well, if you can,
Yeah. But N64 emulation's a lot harder.
true,
It's
I'm
hard to make
sure.
those games run well.
But man, I would definitely get it,
Like you can do
especially
it,
if
you just gotta tweak them, you know.
especially if they could get it to where you could do that with Nintendo 64 games. Because I remember when I was a kid, I had like, again, this was already when PlayStation 1, and then eventually the PlayStation 2 was out. I still had a 64,
Yeah,
and I had like 60 games.
yeah.
So
Hit me, Andrew.
this needs Streets of Rage 2.
Yes.
It needs all 3 of the Sonic games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Total Gem and Earl 2.
Okay, yeah.
Apparently, it needs Micro Machines 2 Turbo Tournament. Don't know what that is.
Sure, okay.
Fantasy Star 4. Super Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Sure, okay.
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's have the Aladdin game on.
That's fair. The Aladdin Genesis game is difficult, but it's fun. It has a really bad last level though.
NHL 94 because that's like the legendary one.
I think I played that.
Road Rash 2.
Yes.
And I'm not going all. I'm going through picking out one.
Yeah, I forgot that game existed.
Oh, Mortal Kombat too.
Yeah, yeah. As Pat pointed out earlier, it's got to have Mortal Kombat.
Oh, it's not. Is it on there already?
No, it's not on their list yet. But there's still 30
Quack
more
Shot.
games on their list. Quack Shot would be cool, yeah.
Quack Shot starring Donald Duck.
Yeah.
NBA Jam.
Oh, Darkwing Duck for the Genesis as well.
World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck.
Yes! That game's so good! World of Illusion? Have you guys ever seen gameplay of that?
Mm-mm.
So it's like this horror-based Mickey Mouse game. Where Mickey Mouse is going into this illusion to try and rescue Minnie. And like there's these monsters everywhere, and it's a really tight platformer. It's really good.
Okay. Strider.
Yeah. No,
Golden Axe 2.
For sure. Golden Axe 2, yes.
Shadowrun.
Yes.
I actually haven't played most of these games.
Genesis was a console that just kind of got skipped by a lot of people. This is their chance to bring it back.
A lot of these, Ghouls and Ghosts.
I could skip that one.
Yeah. And then the rest of these are games that I don't know anything about, and I'm not sure how much value they would have.
I'll make up a list of my top 10 Genesis games that need to be on this and Twitter it later.
It's going to be a pretty easy list when you say Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and you're already down to 7.
Well, you may hate me for this, but if you remember from playing Sonic Mania, I realized that maybe I never really liked playing Sonic that much.
Yeah, but you have to put aside the fact that you're a...
No, I'm talking about my list, not...
Focus on... No. You have to have Sonic.
Sonic's already on there. Sonic 1 is already on there.
No, we need all 3.
Nah,
Damn it.
It's fine.
I need Sonic and Knuckles.
I mean, yeah, that's the better
And
version.
They should have named the consoles Sega Genesis and Knuckles.
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Now we're talking. Well, I wonder if the first Devil May Cry will make it out.
It was not on Genesis.
Don't make a port.
So from there, we have a change in Gundam Battle Operation 2 that's really unfortunate. I had already pretty much stopped playing that game. This change has basically finished that off for me. Actually, I forgot to put in one other thing, too. So what they did is they included monthly missions now. They added monthly missions to the game. Which sounds like a cool thing, right? Every month you do a specific amount of matches or get a specific amount of coins, and you get free coins or free DT to spend in the DP shop. Problem is the challenges are for more coins than you could collect in a month because they want you to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
And they reward you for spending money by spending money and then getting those rewards. It's for more recycle tickets than you could feasibly get in a month. because they want you to do a lot of spins and get a lot of repeats so that you get a lot of tickets. And it's just furthering the pay to win that the game already had, right? Where now the rich are just going to get richer in a weird way because they're going to be spending money like they already were, but now they're going to be getting more things for it. Add that into the fact that a lot of the newer suits that were coming out when I stopped playing, again, I haven't kept up, were really strong compared to a lot of the other suits. And you have a recipe for a game that is, hey, we need more money.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate because I liked playing that game a lot despite the problems that it had with the meta and everything. But I just don't... It's not great when I'm playing a game and I feel like, you know, if I just spend a little bit more money, then I could be able to compete a little easier, you know. And if you've got the skills, like you can still win against some of those tough suits. I've seen King do it, but yeah, the 35 hours for 3 missions alone when you have 14 total of that kind of mission to do. It's really ridiculous how much work they expect you to put in. And it reminds me a lot of For Honor when it first came out and expected you to spend over 400 hours to unlock everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's really ridiculous. And it's just unfortunate.
I hate play to win games.
Yeah.
They make me angry.
I don't
'Cause
mind
it's
play
like-
to win. I hate pay to win.
Yeah. Pay to win games are like cheating to me. Pretty much the same thing. You're finding a way to be better than everyone else by not playing the game.
I understand that they want to make money off.
Yeah.
But it's already been proven that you can make the money off of it with a shop
Yes.
that's just cosmetic.
Yes. And they added cosmetics to the game. And the working theory currently in the Gundam Game Day Discord is that this is happening because Gundam Battle Operation Next is shutting down this.
Which one was that?
That was the other one that had very bad pay to win already. And it's shutting down because people weren't playing it. And so they added more pay to win to GBO2.
That's how that works.
That has to be why it suddenly happened at the same time that game's going down, right?
They're expecting people to come over, so they're gonna be like, "Oh,
yeah,
let me just buy all this stuff so I can catch up."
And then you have that the game's netcode has been getting worse and worse, and I assume it's because they have a lot more people playing now, and they haven't taken care of the back end. Even King, who is a stalwart fan of that game, he's probably going to stop playing soon because he got slapped with a penalty where he couldn't play regular games. He could only either play custom or rating matches. When he finished the match and there was no problem, it dropped him to give him the penalty. And then he got an additional penalty when he tried to play to remove that penalty. So, like, fix your netcode if you're going to be, like, you got players that are playing your game that are putting up with all this, and then you're penalizing them because you're kicking them out of matches when they were doing just fine. And so that brings to the other game that I wanted to talk about, which is Fire Emblem Heroes. Had some changes. You probably haven't heard me talk about Heroes at all lately. That's because I had stopped playing Heroes.
Really?
They made some changes that I didn't talk about on the podcast. I don't know why I never brought them up. But they made some changes to the amount of orbs that you get for playing the game. You still get your daily logins, but they stopped adding quests for the daily quests where you could get them. And they stopped giving you as many orbs in things like Tempest Trials and in Voting Gauntlet. Like, before you could get an orb for Voting Gauntlet. Or no, not Voting Gauntlet, I'm sorry. The friend mode where you, like, got friend relations with people. Forging bonds, that's it. You could get orbs if you got people to a certain rank in that. Now instead you get accessories. And so you don't get orbs from that anymore at all. You no longer get orbs from Ether Raids. You no longer get orbs from... You get one orb now still a week from Arena. You no longer get orbs from the Brigade battles. Now you get feathers. So it basically went from you could get, like, 30 to 40 orbs like every 2 weeks to now you can get like 12 orbs every 2 weeks. And it's because they want you to spend more money, right? And I don't want to do that anymore because they keep adding units. Man. They added a new unit this time from Radiant Dawn that's really good. Really good. And that unit has an 8% chance of showing up in the poll. And I spent every free-to-play orb I had on it and didn't even get close. Like, never once saw a 5-star. And it's
that's the reason I stopped playing, is like I started saving up orbs, and I even re-downloaded the game recently and tried doing it again. I'd save up orbs, and then I would use a free summon, and then just like burn through summons and summon, summon, and then I would never see a 5.
Yeah. So I re-downloaded it again last week. Played for a week. I had orbs still left over that I had saved up because I wanted Lou from FE6, and I knew that Lou was going away soon. So I burned through like 50 orbs and didn't get a single 5-star from that banner. What's worse, Lou's a green unit. In burning through 50 orbs, I never got a green orb that I could pull on.
Nice.
Not a single green orb showed up, and I was like, you know what? I could spend money and get Lou. But even if I get him, I'm not even going to use him because I already have my teams.
Yeah.
And use him to what end? So I still have the game installed, and I'm still going to finish leveling up all the characters I have right now. And then I'm probably going to uninstall it for a little while and come back in a couple months and see if things have gotten better. But it's just really unfortunate. You know, don't stop making your games so pay to win. I want to play your games. I don't want to pay your games. Or give me the option to buy the game outright when it comes out and then not charge me more later.
Yeah.
Because I know I've spent more than $60 on Fire Emblem Heroes and it's free.
Oh, yeah, you definitely have.
And that first $60, sure, you know what? That's how much I would have paid to play the game in the first place, right? But now it feels like they're going, well, yeah, you paid that first $60, but come on. Come on. You know?
We're still making content. Come on.
Yeah. And King brings up a great point again in chat. He's been playing GBO2 daily for like 2-ish months, and he hasn't got a single one of the new suits. A single one. They have lowered the rate so much so that they get you to spend money on GBO2 and Fire Emblem Heroes, and it's just super unfortunate.
What worries me about those games is that so they have a percentage that's a lot lower than what they tell you it is, but the moment that you pay money towards
yeah, all of a sudden 5-stars show up.
The percent chance goes to what they're actually telling you it is.
Yeah.
So like that percent chance is only there if you're paying money.
That was proven with Dragalia Lost, I believe, was the one most recently they got data mined. They got pulled it out. And it's like, man, just stop. Don't. No. I understand why it's like such an easy thing for people to get addicted to the gambling of it, because that's what it becomes.
Yeah.
But, you know. From there, we'll talk about some April Fools that got announced. So we have a bunch, again, as we talked about, we have a bunch of new viewers that weren't watching in some of the previous years. Andrew, I believe it was the first April 1st after we started doing the podcast. You had like a 12-minute impassioned rant about how much you hate the way that April Fools is done. And I 100% still agree with that rant. And so I thought it would be cool if we just readdressed the way we feel about it. We're going to talk about some of the cool ones and some of the really annoying ones that really hurt. But the biggest issue I have with April Fools is that really cool stuff gets announced and it's not true.
Yeah.
And everybody waits all year to go, hey, you know this thing that you really wanted? It's here. Psych, April Fools. And then they don't realize, because people get upset, right? And they don't realize, wait, people actually want this. Maybe we should make this.
Yeah.
And they just keep making the things they're making instead.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any thoughts before we hit the list?
No, I will say I have pretty much this year just stayed away from anything April Fool. So I know very little about anything that's happening
I did basically the same thing.
there now.
I think there are tiers, right? Like some of them that are completely okay because when you see it, you know it's immediately fake. And like a good example of that is Nintendo put out a image of the next Kirby game, and Kirby is a square. He's like, yeah, that's not happening. You know, as soon as I see that, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Like that was a good ha ha ha. That's not happening. You know, Square Kirby. Pokemon Go having Ash pop up, like in when you're viewing the Pokemon in AR. Like that's a dumb fun thing, right? Platinum Games announcing their brand new game, Platinum Games, where you play as Platinum to try and make it in the video game industry and have to incur debt. That's pretty funny, right? Like they're clearly going, hey, no, we can't, we're drowning in debt, so let's make a dumb thing to let people know we're drowning in debt. Like that's pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
Rabbids showing up in For Honor, like that's good stuff. Then you have Capcom announcing Monster Hunter Victory for the Nintendo Switch, which will have the World Dev Team working on it, and a brand new weapon that's never been in the series before, called the Chained Harpoon.
Yes, it's amazing.
You know what sounds sick? The Chained Harpoon.
Yeah.
You know what's not real? The Chained Harpoon.
Oh man.
And it's for that reason that I hate April Fools.
Yeah.
Like that was cool enough, right? But the big one, the one that hurt, and it hurt me and it hurt Pat, was when Weekly Shonen Jump put out a tweet stating that they knew that Togashi had just started another break from the Hunter x Hunter manga, but not to worry, he was feeling better. Hunter x Hunter manga's coming back, you know? And then, hey, by the way, we're also going to be starting the anime back up again. And it's like, as soon as they said it, I knew it was a joke, right? But that's not an okay joke to make. Don't make that joke.
Yeah, that's a stab. That's a stab in the gut.
You took all your viewers that love that anime that you still haven't made a sequel to with the stuff we know it's in the manga and went...
Yeah. So the one that hurt me also was the fake Nintendo video.
The one that IGN
video.
did?
Yeah. Because
that was kind of funny.
It was funny at the end.
Yeah.
But at first I saw it and I was like, okay, this isn't a real Nintendo Direct. But then they were like, oh yeah, so Ocarina of Time is coming to the Switch, and I was just like, don't say that. I want that now. I want that really badly now.
Remade, not just like upright.
Oh, stop. Stop. Don't do this to me.
At least, I'll give that one the credit of at least IGN did that one, and you could tell it wasn't Nintendo, because it wasn't on Nintendo's YouTube page. But I agree. I bet there were a lot of people that were like, come on, you know? I did not see the Siege one. Sounds like it was pretty funny based on chat.
They did. Oh, yeah, I forgot the Siege. Crap.
Oh, I actually saw people streaming this.
They changed, just like the Rabbids in For Honor. The Rabbids were actually in For
Honor. Yeah, they were actually in the game. That wasn't just trailer.
What did they? I gotta pull it up again. I saw it and I did want to. That
So
it was actually really cool. Ubisoft does cool, like doesn't just say, haha, isn't that funny? Like they actually do
stuff, which is cool. That's the stuff I like to see.
Like there's actually exclusive. There's like new skins and stuff in Siege.
That's cool.
And then I think they redid some of the maps to make them like really colorful. And I think one of the maps is like redone, like you're playing in a kid's room or something like that.
That's what King was talking about in the chat.
It's like toys and stuff. Yeah, it's really cool.
The video that I saw, it was a streamer. I was waiting for somebody that I watch stream pretty much every day. I was waiting for them to start their stream, and they didn't stream today. But they hosted somebody that was playing Siege, and the hostage was in a giant teddy bear costume, and they were all just like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" and laughing. And then one of them shot the hostage, so they lost the first round immediately. But they were all just kind of freaking out because they had like all these crazy like costumes and stuff on.
Yeah. It sounds cool. I think my favorite though is still Final Fantasy 14s. Because they put so much effort into it every year, right? So like last year was the phones,
But
Final Fantasy 14 Go, where you could craft and gather with your phone, and it was the guy smashing his phone against the tree, cut down the tree with it, and the guy putting it on the fishing line, right? This year they did their mock-up of a smart home device, and it was Omega from the Omega raids. And if you haven't watched that video yet, you need to, because it's really good. But it's really funny. They put a lot of work into that. And they didn't trick us with like something that was very obviously could be a thing and then was not. So thanks for that. You know. Any other thoughts about April Fools before we move on?
no.
I did have somebody
where's-
message me on Twitter and ask me if we were going to be doing an April Fools. Because of the way we feel about April Fools and the way it's done, we haven't in the past. If we ever have like a really stupid fun idea, we might, but you know. I don't like tricking people. Because it can be a good joke if you do it right, and otherwise it just makes people feel.
Yeah.
I did not hear about what the Division 2.
I didn't hear about that either.
All right. Well, the last piece of news that I have on the docket is that starting May 1st, Japan will be entering its next era. The Reiwa Era, which will be leaving the Heisei Era behind. I'm going to check real quick how long the Heisei Era was. And you may say, like, why does this matter? Well, it's a pretty big thing when Japan moves to the next era, right? Because the Heisei Era was from 1989 to this year. And the previous era was the Showa Era, which was from 1926 to 1989. The reason they have it broke down into eras is this idea of we're going to try new styles of government. We're going to do things differently here in the country. And so we're going to change the era name as well to prove to everyone and to ourselves that we want to do things differently. It's very similar to how we use the phrase term when it comes to presidents here in the United States. Of it's a new term. There's a new president in office now. Things are going to be different, you know? The difference is it takes a much bigger vote to change the era name. In Japan, it takes basically everybody to agree. And so now it's time for a new era. Which is pretty crazy.
It begins May 1st.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy.
The Heisei era started the year before I was born. And I have now lived through, if I make it to May 1st, I'll have lived through an era in Japan, which is pretty cool. But some of the eras didn't last that long.
Did you say what it's translated to already?
I did not. No, do you have that pulled up already?
I do. It's Fortunate Harmony.
See, I have the direct translation, not the like Romanized version. The Romanized is the phrase we use as it's turned over into English. The direct translation of the kanji would be roughly Decree of Harmony, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah. I'm watching a video right now, kind of like talking about it.
Yeah.
And everybody is just like trying to buy a newspaper so they can have a newspaper saying that the era's changed.
Yeah, it's a big thing, man.
Absolutely.
It's a big thing.
It's kind of how like we were talking about when were we talking about the Japanese actor talking about how he played video games
Last week
when
with the Final Fantasy
was
14
that
stuff.
was that on the podcast that we talked
Yeah.
about that? Okay. Then I don't have too much to say to bring it up, but I was basically going to say it's kind of like that, you know. I wonder if that kind of stuff is going to be in this new era where people are kind of being more open about that kind of stuff in Japan, because I know it's really kind of like private in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope the idea of harmony for what they're going for next will be able to push that forward of, hey, it's okay for you to like this thing instead of it being a negative thing. It's okay for you to like video games, okay for you to like anime, which sounds like a crazy thing, right? Like, how could Japan must love anime, but a lot of people in Japan don't like anime.
Yeah.
Or they like anime, but they're not supposed to, you know? So. Also, yeah, the 126th Emperor of Japan will come to power right as the Reiwa period starts, which is insane to me. That they still have an emperor, which, I mean, that's cool. I'm not upset about it, but
Yeah.
it's crazy to me, you know?
Yeah, it's his son, right? His son is stepping up.
Yeah, Naruhito is his... Pat, I know you just thought about Naruto.
Don't worry about it, boy.
But I do need to put that on my resume. You're right, I lived through an era. That's just really crazy. I'm really excited for what that's going to mean. And that will mean some changes, why I wanted to bring it up here since we talk about nerd stuff. That will bring some changes to things like Godzilla and to things like Kamen Rider and Sentai shows. Because when the era changes, normally a lot of the production staff changes too, because it's the idea of it's a new era, it's time to change things up. And the big difference there would be like the Showa period that was 1926 to 1989 had a bunch of like old school Kamen Rider and a bunch of old school Godzilla. That's where all the big Godzilla movies that we still talk about today, the older Kamen Riders come from. But in 1989, when it switched to the Heisei era, that's when things became more computer animated and moving into the idea of, instead of being the cool old hero type, now we need to be the new cool hero type, you know? So that's also where some big changes with Godzilla happened, and we're going to see that in going into the Reiwa era, if they change as many people as I think they probably will, with stuff like Kamen Rider and Super Sentai and everything like that. I'm excited. And there's a lot of people that were not enjoying the Heisei era Kamen Riders. I think they're great, but there were a lot of people that were like, it's too flashy, you know? So maybe this change would be just what we need. I don't know. So yeah, that's all the news that I had. Real quick, you guys think we could manage a discussion about Sekiro and its difficulty?
We probably could talk about it real quick. We got like 15 more minutes.
So, the discussion has been, and I guess has been since Demon Souls, but it came back up because Sekiro came out. And it was made real public because of articles that came out that said Sekiro needs to respect its players and add an easy mode. Do you think Sekiro needs to have an easy mode?
No.
No.
What about, because this is the argument that always comes up, people with physical disabilities that cannot beat that game?
They're making controllers and stuff now to make it where they can play just like everybody else.
Yes.
So why should they not be challenged like everybody else? And I guarantee you most of them would say the same thing.
Andrew, you had a thought?
So, I don't know how I'm going to say this. Because, like, they are making controllers. They're making controllers that you can. So, that is sort of, that is your workaround. Yes, you have to spend more money for it, but a AAA studio can't make a AAA game specifically with that in mind.
So
Because they're not going to there's going to be too many restrictions on, okay, well, we can't do that, well, we can't do this, we can't do that. So, unfortunately, for those people, they have to work around.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do you remember when we had a conversation? And I'm not physically disabled in the way that a lot of people are. But do you remember when we had the conversation about RE2 Remake? About how playing that game physically hurt me because of my heart.
Yeah.
And that I had to just get used to it, to get used to the atmosphere, so that I didn't get so worked up, so that it would not hurt my heart. Should I have then expected Capcom to make the game brighter? Or to include a brighter mode? So that it wasn't as dark and scary for me? Or should I, a person who has a heart condition, know going into a scary game that it could be a problem for my heart condition?
Well, and it's just like every time I boot up to the Division, for example. Plenty of other games do this. But every time I boot up to the Division, before anything else pops up with epileptic seizure warning, then there are flashing lights and stuff like that, and to be careful if you have issues. They're still going to make the Division the way they want to make it. They're still going to make it further away. It would be too restricting for the game industry to only make games that, okay, well, who are disabled, like make sure that they can play it, no matter what.
My big issue with the idea of it needs an easy mode is most of the people claiming it needs an easy mode do not have the physical disability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And are using those people as a shield. And as a person that has a physical disability, in the form of my heart and my lungs, that's not cool, first off. The second big thing is when you say you have to make games easier for people that have physical disabilities, you are saying they cannot do it.
Yep. Yeah. That's the point I was going to make.
And how dare you tell someone that they are not good enough to play this game when there are a lot of people that are more disabled than I am that are beating this game and have beaten this game already. There are like streamers like Half Coordinated that stream all the time. Again, as King pointed out, the guy that's blind that beat Ocarina of Time just by listening to it enough. Like, people that have a physical disability can still do almost everything that other people can do. And when you say they have to have an easy mode for them, you are pitying them.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from experience, pity is not something people like to get. The other big thing I have about it is the idea of, well, because this is the argument that I've seen a lot. Well, Celeste has an accessibility mode. And Celeste's accessibility mode just lets you be invincible, so you can enjoy the game as much as you want. Andrew, let me ask you this question, because we both turned that mode on. We both used that mode. If you had the time and the willpower to beat that game without turning that mode on, do you think you would have been more satisfied with that game? Having overcome those challenges yourself?
Look, so here's the deal. We can't talk about Celeste because I hate that game anyway.
Yes, I'm aware.
Because it wants to be Super Meat.
Yes.
In 2019 or 2018. So I hate that game. I would never feel good about that game. The game is bad.
Yes, that's
so. Fair. But what you're saying, yes, for a good game, it is more rewarding to go through the challenges and come out on top and say, "Wow!" Like, I mean, I have memories of beating Bloodborne and like those moments where you overcome the boss and you're like, "Aha! I've got you now. I've got you right where I want you. I know you're gonna do this. I'm gonna dodge, take you out." Like, it's more rewarding.
Yes, and if you had the option to turn on not die in Sekiro, when you beat those bosses, would it be rewarding?
No. Well, I will say this about Celeste. I turned on that mode to try to see the story through,
Yes.
and I realized without the challenge, I just didn't care.
Yes. And so that's the argument a lot of people are making, is an easy mode would allow people to see the story or see the environments, which they will not see if they can't beat it. Again,
It's also not every game is for everybody.
yes.
I mean,
it's harsh to say, right? But it's the truth. Madden, when they're making Madden, Pat, they do not call me and ask me, hey, if we break this down a little bit more and take away a lot of the strategy of this game to make it easier, would you play this? Because I'm not the target audience.
Yeah.
They're not going to remove plays that are difficult for me to understand to make the game easier. They're just going to make Madden.
Yeah.
And
My big thing is like,
go ahead.
my big thing, well, as far as the like disabilities thing, you could talk to pretty much anybody that has a disability of any type, and the one thing that they want is to not feel like they're not like everyone else.
Yeah.
And and this is just an example, like by Microsoft making that controller for people with disabilities, that's one way that they can not feel not like everyone else.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
I agree.
And for you to say that you have to make a game easier just so they can feel that way, like you're taking away a challenge for them.
Yes.
And people are challenged with things every day, and they're challenged by even more things than the average person. And they want to be able to feel the same challenge that the average person feels, and you're trying to take that from them, and that's messed up. The other thing is I'm full agreement with you when it comes to the audience. Like that's what the game developers are looking at. They're not looking at how easy the game or how hard the game needs to be.
Right.
They're looking at the audience they're looking at the average audience that's going to be playing their game.
Yes.
And the audience that they're going for. So they're not worried about, oh well, like you said, Trey's not going to like this game because this plays, more difficult, or Andrew's not going to like this game because this car is not in it, or this hockey player is not in it, or whatever, or I'm not going to like this game because of this basketball player is not in it. That they don't care about.
Exactly.
They care about the overall audience and what the general audience is going to like about the game, and they care about making money at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So to try to say like, oh, they need to make the game easier, that's literally, to me, that's just an insult to the developers, which some of them deserve, but not all of them deserve to be insulted. Like,
well, and I would even say, like with Celeste, right? Andrew and I both bounced off of that real hard. We turned on the accessibility options, but I would never tell that dev he needed to make that game easier. I would say I wish it was easier, because I absolutely do wish that game was easier. But not by having the easy options, because by having those easy options, I wound up turning them off. Because I realized, like Andrew, it stripped all challenge out of the game and made it not fun to play. And I wanted to still enjoy my time with it. I wish instead that they had just given all of those grips a couple more pixels to be able to grip onto them from. But I would never tell that dev, hey, you wanted to make this game difficult so that it was like overcoming depression. You should have made this easy.
See, another thing too is if you make an easy mode, you didn't make the easy mode. You made the game and you thought it was too easy. So you made it unnecessarily hard and then made the game that you made the easy mode. Well, that's the way it looks to me.
We have to go back to Demon's Souls 2 when Miyazaki was asked why they didn't make an easy mode. And he said if they had made an easy mode, there would be 2 less bosses in it. Because the dev time that would have had to be taken. Because it's not, so many people have said, well, it's just lower the damage numbers, lower the enemy health. That's not how an easy mode would work in these games. Because that wouldn't make the game easier.
It's still the same game.
It's still the same game. Just because the enemy now takes 3 hits to kill you instead of 2, when it's doing a 7-hit combo. Like, to make the game easier, they would have had to widen the deflect window. They would have had to reduce the intensity of all the AI in the game and given you periods of times where enemies just did this.
Yep.
so you could heal. And that first off, that completely ruins the view they had, the game they were trying to make, right? And second off, how is that enjoyable when the enemies give you time to heal? It's like if you've ever played a game where the boss fight is one you can't lose, but they don't try to let you know that right away, and then you figure out you can't lose. It's then no longer a fun, intense boss fight. It's, okay, well, let's kill the boss then, because we can't lose this one.
Yeah. Like, I mean, think about life. Like, you're gonna be challenged in life. You don't get an easy mode in life. You're gonna be challenged by something, and you're not always gonna win.
Yeah.
And if you think that just because video games are quote unquote not real life, like that's escaping this world, like that's what I play video games for. But even whenever I'm not in this world and I'm getting rid of my, depression or anxiety by pretending to be somewhere else, I want a challenge because that's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for. Like we are overcoming challenges. Like this, I mean, I'm not trying to backtrack here, but it's just like cheating. Like, why are you trying to take away the challenge? Like that's the point of the game.
I just thought of the biggest one that happened right around DMC5 coming out. Do you remember those articles, Andrew, about DMC5 that were like, the combat's too easy, and then all the footage they showed had auto in the top right corner because they played with auto combos? Like, that's what an easy mode looks like, and you didn't enjoy that game.
Like, I understand having auto combos in a game, but there's got to be other challenges around that. I mean, some games do that well, but that's, I mean, to me, that's not the point. Like, the point is, like, there should always be a challenge, and if you're trying to take out the challenge, then you're not even playing the game anymore. You might as well just watch the cutscenes on YouTube, like all the rest of the plebs that don't want to play the game.
Well, and that's my thing, is if the game's too hard for you, right? Like, it's a difficult game, you knew that going in, but okay, it's too hard for you, right? Instead of trying to get better, instead of practicing the game, you do still have the option to just watch the game, and then you can still see the late areas. You can still experience the story, you know?
Just use aim assist.
You have all those options now. Or if you're playing on PC, turn on Cheat Engine. Who cares? It's a single player game. You're only ruining it for yourself. If you just have to have it, turn on Cheat Engine and just go. But don't demand the developers add a mode just to make you happy. And then definitely don't claim that you're doing all this for the people that are physically disabled, that have not asked for your help. Anyway, I guess we should probably move on.
It's easy to just get upset because, like I said, like it's just sad to me that people want to ruin an experience for others, because that's what they would do by sitting here and making these demands. If they make another game and they put an easy mode in it, what if they took out 2 bosses? That would have been awesome fights and great challenges for people that you, as a consumer, ruined for another consumer because you were a little titty baby and couldn't play the game the way that they made the game to be played.
Yeah. I agree.
People like that just make me mad, dude. Like,
what'd you say, Andrew?
I said no easy mode.
Yeah, no easy mode.
I'm more upset about this right now than I should be.
Do you guys have any plugs? Also, I can't help but laugh at Keek's comment. You guys have any plugs?
No.
I just heard the comment.
I have 2 plugs. The first off is a little something that I ordered in from Japan that I have now ordered more of. That a good friend of mine recommended once. His name, Colonel Campbell. I've been eating some Calorie Mates. And I will tell you, when it is 3 a.m. and you're editing and you just want to go to bed and you don't want to get up and cook something, but your stomach's completely empty, you bust open a Calorie Mate. Friendship with Sargentos has been ended. Friendship with Calorie Mate has been started.
What the hell is it?
It's a Calorie Mate. Solid Snake eats them.
Yeah, but what is it actually in the box?
Well, I would have showed you one if I hadn't eaten them all. But it's basically like a wafer, and it's full of All the nutrition that you need in a meal. Good stuff in here. Good stuff in here.
Sugar, carbs, high calories.
When I first, high calories is true. When I first ate one, I did not think it tasted very good. But now, having eaten the entire box, I think that tastes pretty good. I'm jonesing for some more. We're not sponsored by Calorie Mate, but if they'd ever love to sponsor us, I would be down for that. And my second plug, people that have been watching the streams probably knew I was going to plug this. Mauler, who makes content on YouTube, long form content, just recently put out his April Fool's video, which is a reference to Downward Thrust, as well as a bunch of other creators that they cover on their podcast, and is done up in a style of a video done after Downward Thrust, and we've referenced Downward Thrust many times on this podcast and the distaste that we have for his content. And he uses a lot of Downward Thrust's own phrases in that video. And if you check out that video, you'll see just how dumb some of that stuff that said sounds when it's taken out of the context that it's being used in. And you realize most of it's not words. But it's a really funny video, so you should check it out. Dark Souls 2 didn't die, it was murdered. Yeah. But that's my plug. I know it sounds mean-spirited, but, it kind of is in a weird way, I guess, to be honest, to be frank. I really dislike those videos. Look, I don't get up every morning and go, man, I can't wait to take shots at Downward Thrust in the podcast. It just happens, okay? It just happens. I feel like I do it too often, though. I feel like we got to back off of old, you-know-who.
No. I won't.
Like, my thing is, don't make 6 videos a week that are like, the first video is, did Anthem make it through this update? And then the next video is, Anthem didn't die, it was murdered. And then the third video is, I've changed my mind about Anthem, and all 3 videos have no actual content. Also, I have to point out that Andrew's camera has completely lost focus for some reason. And it's just the funniest thing to me.
There it goes. It just completely lost all focus.
I don't know what it was focusing on.
Who knows? The man behind you, clearly.
Oh no. Like I'm fuzzy still.
No, you're good on my end.
Yeah, it was great, and then you moved your hands down, and then it went back, and then you moved in, and then back.
So coming up in the week, tomorrow we will be doing some more DS2 Muller rules with the challenge that he put up that we're still trying to beat. It's a really cool rule set. In case you guys forgot, is that you have to level strength, vitality, endurance, and dexterity in equal parts. And they have to be the same so that you cannot, just read chat. You cannot level anything above the others. They all have to be the same. And, you also cannot kill any NPCs. You have to fully explore the areas and pick up all the items for the Scholar of the First Sin edition, which is the Spam Bush version. So yeah, it's been a fun run. A lot of spam bushes in that game. Thursday, that's the word. We'll be back with Super Robot Wars T. With the stream version of it that you guys are picking the units in. Friday, we'll be back with Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. And then if I can get the time this Saturday, we'll do a special stream. I don't know what yet, but I really want to stream something else from the top 25 list so we can get moving through it. Could do it tomorrow, but I kind of want to just go ahead and try to knock out Baller rules. But yeah, that's all I have. You guys have anything big coming up this week?
No.
I'm trying to play the Division 2.
Yeah?
Some more.
Andrew, you going to keep playing Sekiro? Cool. Let me know if you have any questions. One last thing I wanted to bring up about Sekiro. I found this cave that I'm positive. I've played too many Souls games, too many From games, not to... Positive there's supposed to be a boss fight in that cave. But there's no boss in that cave. Like, you come down this path, and there's just the cave mouth, and you go in and it opens up, and there's blood on the floor. And there's this giant open cave, and then the other end you can't climb out. You have to grapple out. No boss in that cave.
Maybe you have to summon it somehow.
Maybe. Positive there's going to be one there, but we'll find out, I guess. So yeah, I guess that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Full Spectrum. Somebody got there before. Yeah, I guess somebody got there before me, killed the boss. That's
fine.
That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. I have been Trey.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Pattrick.
We've been the Full Spectrum, and remember to always enjoy the full spectrum life has to offer.
I won't.
I don't know how much we got to talk about in the post show today. We might just be done here.
I got something to talk about, but it has to be off air. So
Okay. Guess we will
Gotcha.
call it here then. And we'll talk to you guys later. We got some special surprises coming up video-wise. Stuff coming. But later, everybody.